Welcome to my $10 town. Let's make a movie with the 10 bucks I found. Pitch me a story, ideas for sale. Welcome to $10 Tales.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day.
Ever since I joined the agency, I always believed everything we did was for the good of the country. I still do. Graduated from Brown University Phi Beta Kappa. My father was all Navy, so I enlisted in the Naval Officers Program straight out of college. I served with the Special Operations, and soon after I joined the agency in 1991. I helped plan the collapse of 5 governments and devise the outset of 2 wars. Our job is to expose all threats to our way of life, foreign or domestic. We are not spies of the agency. We are intelligence gatherers.
Operation Jericho is a go. We've decided on a date.
This is as obvious as Flight 007, don't you think?
No one will notice.
You and Roy will have to get together and work out the details.
So who do we have working on it?
Their engineering corps. Their families think they're stationed in Afghanistan. They're a loss.
I've been working on this project for 5 years. It'll all work out.
We called them the White Men. They were all agency directors at one time. But now, in their retirement, they had more power than ever before. Their orders came straight from heaven. Or maybe it was hell. Nobody really knew. As long as we were on the winning side, I never gave a shit. For the last 4 years, I've been one of the most trusted paymasters in the agency. And when it came time for Operation Jericho, even I was being watched. Usually one of us was enough, but this project was on a massive scale. We even projected that over 50 of our agents would be a loss. I can only imagine the blowback from an operation this size. That's if things go wrong. I never knew who pulled whose strings, and I didn't ever want to know. Like all operations, you never ask questions, you only follow orders.
the scope of the injuries. They have now notified hospitals in the outlying boroughs outside Manhattan, and they have cleared the routes through the streets.
We're in Building 7 now. Who wants to talk to you?
Hey, John, I only got 30 minutes. I got a meeting with Annie to make sure he doesn't things up.
Yeah, what about Jeb things up?
We'll take care of him. Don't worry about it. Listen, John. The fire department made it to the 75th floor. They gonna put the fire out.
Well, then detonate now. We can't wait.
Just tell them this building's lined up. We'll pull out when the trucks are fixed to checkpoint.
How long's that going to take?
Don't worry about that. We already have a plan for that.
They made it. We can pull it. Pull Building 1.
Okay, just get the hell out of there. Listen, I gotta go. I gotta shut my windows before the dust gets in here and dirties everything. Okay, see you in Washington. American president once said, "Nothing in history ever happens by accident." He was right.
Gorski, it's Sanders. Yeah, I've got that information, but this is the last one, understand? It's getting too dangerous for me.
Do you have the information on the election records?
We're not supposed to talk about that information on the phone. The telephone's the biggest snitch. What's the matter with you? That's why you hippies always come in last. I'll meet you at the usual place. I'm hanging up. Look, this is some really vital information. Nobody must know where you got this, okay? But I'm not kidding. It's my life, and I'll tell you, this information is so hot that it could mean other lives too. Okay?
I'll guard this with my life.
Promise me.
I promise you. This will go to my death.
Okay.
Listen, John, we have 3 more people to add to our list, and but no more dirty tricks. They're just not working.
I have a skeletal operation on these 3 guys already.
It's not enough. Gorski is writing a book. He knows about us tampering with the elections.
And we can't let that happen.
Well, I'm going to need some help.
Use your connections with military intelligence. These guys are on our list. They're too high profile. No foreign assets.
Understood. I have some guys working with me in New Orleans right now, so I'll bring it up to them.
Do you think there'd be a hurricane big enough this year?
I've got it all worked out. Any storm will do. Okay, John, just take care of that list.
It's been a while since I was asked to eliminate anyone. During covert operations or wars, eliminating an informant or a double agent was fairly common. But the people on this list were people everyone knew. People I knew. At least I knew some of them. Frank Sanders. When I first joined the agency, Frank Sanders was already a legend. Him and Bush Sr. worked on Operation Zapata together, and it rocketed him to the top of security clearance. But after his retirement and the death of his wife, we found out he was giving Gorski classified information for a book.
Look, I'm not doing this to get a medal. I believe the American people have a right to know. There's been a lot of bullshit's gone on in the CIA in the last 20 years, and I want to expose it.
Sanders was stabbing us in the back, and Gorski, who Sanders knew had been labeled an enemy of the state, was now being handed over level 3 clearance info. Wholesale. By one of our own. Him and Gorski had to go. Peter Jenkins, senior news editor and anchor of KBA World News for 30 years. He was considered an undesirable during the Reagan years, and he still wasn't playing by our rules. When our agency ordered him to can a story about NORAD against national security interests, he aired it anyhow, along with a number of other news items which contradicted our press releases. And now we had information that Gorski may have been feeding Jenkins secondhand information from Sanders. It was a chain of descent that had to be broken. The last guy on my list was Danny Ch**ki, an ex-KGB asset during the Serbian operation. He'd been playing both sides of the fence. By the time we found out, he was already gone, with with over $1 million in payout money. His connection with Russian and Bulgarian arms dealers made him a major security threat, and with $1 million, probably in Swiss bank accounts, starting up a small arms business for c.i.a. is really just a matter of time. A list like this was designed to stamp out the problem before it happened. We never worried about the bomb. It's the fuse, and the fuse ignites the powder. Most of our agency's operations are denied funding by Congress. It's tough to explain the politics of covert espionage to a bunch of soft-headed liberal or tax-paying sheep. Some political oversight committee finds our enterprises questionable, so they scrap it. So we learn to fund ourselves, with drug money. And since 1/3 of our shipments are delivered to the port of New Orleans, we figured the most efficient way to deal with the payoffs in money laundering would be to build casinos nearby. Most of New Orleans officials were opposed to the idea, but we didn't care. One of our guys came up with a plan, and I was here to make sure it ran smoothly. Okay guys, just one last time. 2 hours time, we meet at the top of the hotel, okay? That's when they're gonna pick us up.
Everything's on schedule. I'm not gonna worry too much.
What about the 17th Avenue levy?
No worries, guys. I already took care of everything. Yeah, don't worry about a black on it.
Okay, good. Okay, listen. I have some other work if you guys are interested. A few black bag jobs I need taken care of.
High or low profile?
Well, mostly high. Peter Jenkins.
Are you talking about the Peter Jenkins?
Yes.
Shit. Who else?
Mark Gorman. Dan
ex-KGB. I saw that one coming.
Anyhow, they all gotta go.
How do you want it done? What do they suggest?
Well, Jenkins was a smoker, right? So I'm thinking lung cancer.
Yeah, no. That shouldn't be too tough, but it might take 6 months, you know?
And Gorman, also known as Gorski.
Gorman was an activist in the 60s, kind of a hippie type. But he lives in Soho now. And, you know, it's rumored he deals in pot, so we could stage a break-in. It's a drug deal gone bad.
You know what? I got a friend at the New York Times. We'll get him to write a story to back up the whole thing.
Okay, that sounds good.
What about Ski?
Well, I've been thinking about him. He's ex-KGB, as you said, right? So, let's have a little fun.
I don't know about you guys, but I'd like to make that commie red son of a bitch suffer.
We could do that.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. Okay, 2 hours, guys, on top of the hotel, right?
Yeah. Out here.
Okay, I'll see you guys soon.
Here's Peter Jenkins' address. I figured we could use some TP with magnesium silicate. I could get it by Tuesday. I cased his home. He's got an air conditioner in his office window. It's running all the time. I figure if we spray twice a week for 2 weeks, it should be enough. I got a cable repair van for cover, so I'll need some more cash by next week. We figured Jenkins will be out of commission in 4 months, probably dead in 6. So as long as he breathes the air in his office, we could cross him off our list. Oh, I got some good news. We found Jignet. He's hiding out in Italy with a few of his old KGB buddies. He's in Sorrento. No foreign assets, so I sent Anders over to take care of the situation. He's there now.
du? Was machst du hier? Du darfst nicht hier sein. I know you.
God damn it, John. What was Andrews thinking?
It's front page in Europe. It's just a matter of time before it comes here. Anyways, Gorski's meeting with his publisher next month.
He's got Sanders writing a chapter for him on the Bosnian operation.
No one cares about that situation. It's ancient history.
And you're part of it, John. Sanders will implicate you.
Get our guys to put out a cover story. They're enemies. No one's going to give a shit.
The Congressional Oversight Committees won't agree.
Get rid of Gorski and put Sanders to sleep.
I knew because of Andrew's screw-up with Cheknowski there was going to be some house cleaning. Andrews worked on Operation Jericho and a lot of other high-security black ops. He's privy to a lot of information. And because I'm his handler, he's my responsibility. I'm the buffer. So if there's ever a chance that an asset might get caught by other authorities...
Listen, it's only a matter of time before someone connects Andrews with John. I don't want any breadcrumbs leading to my door.
There's just too much at risk, and if anything ever got out, your average American would never understand. We're the preventative measure. We're the flu shot you take even though you don't have the flu. We can't take any chances. Every night Gorski would spend 3 to 4 hours on his book, and sometimes he'd drive uptown to visit a friend's restaurant for some drinks. Tonight was one of those nights. I decided to use an old trick of the trade I learned from one of the older agents, and along with draining the brake fluid, it usually did the trick. The next time I hear about Gorski, it would be in the obituaries.
Hey, John, guess what? Gorski's alive. That's right.
So, what is he, like half alive? Is he in a coma? Or is he walking around? What's the deal?
No, he's got a broken wrist and whiplash, but other than that, he's fine. Didn't you cut his friggin' seatbelt, man?
Oh, shit.
Okay, well, he's getting out tomorrow. From what I hear, he's in a lot of pain, so...
I'll have some ricin. Maybe I'll try some aspirin roulette.
Yeah, just slip a little bit of ricin in there.
Okay, bye.
Having to sneak into Gorski's apartment wasn't on my agenda, but at this point in time, screw-ups just couldn't be tolerated. Sometimes during special operations, we'd down Pemelin just to keep alert, and every once in a while I'd pop one for old time's sake. It helped me out during break-ins, which are always risky. And you have to be on your toes at all times. You never know who might call the cops, or you never know if some jackass neighbor might come out with a gun and want to play cowboy.
Aspirin roulette was always a fail-safe plan. You knew it was only a matter of time before they'd take that magic pill. And since Gorski was in a lot of pain, he'd be getting to that pill pretty fast.
Andrews.
Sfalcin, what do you got for me?
I got your passport for one. And for two, I got some bad news.
Yeah, what's that?
Sfalcin is now in the hands of the Swiss.
So? They don't know who I am?
Actually, they know exactly who you are.
And how so?
A couple of those men you left laying down on the ground there with bullet wounds, they worked with you before.
So what do you suggest?
I think in situations like this, the wisest course of action is simply to stay put for a few more weeks.
I can't stay here another day and go crazy.
Unfortunately, it's got to be that way. My best advice to you is in a couple of weeks, get your ass back to the States. But in the meantime, strudel. My mom made that strudel for you personally.
Some of you have noticed in the last several days that I was not covering the Pope. As some of you now know, I have learned in the last couple of days that I have lung cancer. Yes, I was a smoker until about 20 years ago. And I was weak, and I smoked over 9/11. But whatever the reason, the news does slow you down a bit.
Yeah.
Listen, John, I'm a little concerned about Andrews. I haven't heard from him in 2 weeks. He was at that safe house, you know? You promised protection.
The guy was compromised. We gave him a passport. We can't babysit him.
You know, I know how this kind of shit works. I'm the one who got him this gig. I got him the operation, and I engineered it. I'll do whatever I have to survive this damn thing.
The guy's on a beach sipping Mai Tais.
Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. Anyway, some good news. Peter Jenkins, he just announced today he's retiring due to lung cancer. So we could wipe him off our list.
That's right, we can. So just lay low, okay?
Well, I'm a little concerned about who's next on the list.
Listen, you're being a little paranoid.
It's my job to be paranoid, John. I'll just do what you say.
I want you to take care of Sanders personally, John. It's got to be open, and we need to set an example, and Sanders is it.
Well, how open? Is he guarded?
Unless he's suspicious of Gorski's death, it should be simple.
After this, the list is clean, John. You can take some time off and enjoy the sun.
For someone in my position, it's important to see the bigger picture. It's not just about one person's life or some third world nation playing buffer zone. It's about organization. And right now in the world, it's chaos. That's our master plan. Total order. And from chaos will come order. A new world order.